Peace, and Islam. Welcome to part 2 of segment 6 of the Amexem-Moor-Empire perspective. And the topic at hand is business training and establishment within the Amexem-Moor-Empire. In part 1, we covered briefly customs officers and the type of training that they undergo. And so part 2 now, we are going into the details of such training, how rigorous they are and what they cover, and how it relates to business establishment within the Amexem-Moor-Empire, Islam. So we welcome back to part 2 segment and continuing His Imperial Majesty and Anidu El Bey. Islam.
Islam, Latina. Yes. To answer what we were speaking about earlier and make sure I give you clarity of thought, the Department for the Interior is where folks go to establish a business by way of the Imperial Power and Industry Agency. And that agency regulates all business within the Amexem-Moor-Empire. The commerce and trade of those businesses is regulated by the Department for the Customs. And the enforcement arm of the Department for the Customs is the Imperial Customs Force. Their mandate is in Article 4, Clause 2 of the Amexem-Moor-Empire Constitution. Article 4, Clause 2 covers free enterprise within the Amexem-Moor-Empire jurisdiction and venue. The opposite of free enterprise is monopoly. And the ICF, that role they carry is to engage in anti-monopoly operations. Their jurisdiction and venue operations are from our littoral waters out to the deep waters. Also, what some would call in foreign venues, say, quote unquote, highway patrol for ground commerce enforcement. So if you want to keep your pavement over time, then you want to maintain the proper tear weights on whatever trucks are rolling over your pavement. So you don't want them overloaded, because over time it will break down your pavement much faster, which means you're going to be constantly doing reconstruction, repavement. So that's part of that particular responsibility of ICF. ICF is the first line and last line of defense against counterfeiting. Would be counterfeiting of products, items, pieces, or parts, whether it be counterfeiting of anything under a Mexican Empire sovereign copyright, patent, or trademark, whether it be engaging in anti-piracy operations, piracy suppression, if you would, on the high seas. That's you have two types of piracy of your products and piracy of products aboard ship. And in that instance, now we're talking about what we said previously, which is mare liberum, liberty of the seas, protection of the seas. That includes protecting that which is our products that's being moved or shipped over the high seas, interject to trade, if you would. So ICF goes through an inordinate amount of training because they have to cover everything from ground to air to sea. So whether you're covering ground via rail, whether you're covering ground via truck or courier, all these things have to be dealt with effectively. And there's a host of things that go into that. So knowing how to engage as part Homeland Security, part Coast Guard, part Marines. If you're going to engage in commerce and trade on your own, in your own jurisdiction, on your own terms, through trade conventions, trade agreements, whatever the case may be, you have to be able to back that up. You have to be able to prepare for all scenarios, whether it be diplomacy or enforcement, trade or treaty enforcement. This is the role of the Imperial Customs Force. So, as you can see, Department for the Interior and Department for the Customs, they interact hand in hand to make sure our commerce and trade can go forward so that our businesses can thrive, so that those who own the business or stake in that business can feed themselves and their families, and provide us with the ability to bring a wide variety of products and services to market globally. It's a win-win. And when those businesses do well, the better they do, the more income taxes, business taxes, are collected into the Imperial Treasury. since I said that word, I gotta reiterate, there are no income taxes within the Amexem-Moor-Empire. Business taxes, yes, but however, not quote unquote income taxes. So I had to clarify that because I made that error. Well, that's all I have for that particular portion based on what you asked. You have a follow-on question for me, Novatina?
Peace and Islam. I do not have any questions. I'm just excited for the future and for the building of our nation. So this is news to our young men and women who want to serve their nation and build. So with that, more link information regarding this segment and everything else that is covered within the Amexem-Moor-Empire. We have a website that we influence, which is modern-more-monarchy.squarespace.com. That again is modern-more-monarchy.squarespace.com. Feel free to leave a positive comment or feedback down below. And we thank you for your time and for joining us today. And Your Imperial Majesty, on behalf of all the nationals within the Empire, nationwide, empire-wide on both sides of the ocean, we thank you for your service, as well as our customs officers. Islam.
Islam, Novatina.
And until the next segment, peace and Islam.
Islam.